It was November 24th, 1971, the day before Thanksgiving. The Portland airport was buzzing with travelers. Families clutched tickets, businessmen rushed with briefcases, and children were excited for the holidays. At the gate, a Boeing 727 stood ready for its short flight to Seattle. Smiling passengers boarded one by one, unaware that this ordinary journey was about to make history. The pilots prepared the controls, the engines roared, and the plane lifted into the night sky. But within moments, everything would change. The Boeing 727 was less than half full. There were 36 passengers on board and a crew of 3. The weather was clear, the route was well-traveled, and the flight was less than 30 minutes long. Nothing except that one of the 36 passengers was not who he claimed to be. Our mysterious passenger purchased his ticket under the name Dan Cooper. He was in his mid-40s and dressed neatly in a dark suit, white shirt and black tie. He wore polished shoes and dark sunglasses, carrying nothing more than a black briefcase. He ordered a bourbon and soda, smoked calmly, and sat back. For a while, he appeared like any other business traveler. A few minutes into the flight, he leaned over and handed a folded note to a flight attendant. At first, she assumed it was just a phone number, but Cooper leaned closer and spoke quietly. "Miss, you'd better read that note. I have a bomb." The note said simply, "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I want to talk to the captain." Cooper handed another note to her, this one addressed directly to the pilot. "Don't be alarmed. I want to talk to you about a matter of great importance." By now, fear rippled through the tiny plane. As the flight attendant reached the cockpit, the pilot quietly asked a passenger to move so he could see the cabin. When he turned, he saw Cooper standing, calmly holding his briefcase. "Tell the stewardess I won't hurt anyone," Cooper said, "if they do what I ask." The pilot returned to the cockpit and met with the other 2 crew members. Cooper called again for the captain. "Listen," he said.
"I want to tell you what I want. If you give me what I ask for, no one has to get hurt. You do everything I say, and no one gets hurt."
His demands were precise. $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready in Seattle, and permission to land in Mexico City. The crew agreed to his terms and alerted the authorities. The plane circled Seattle as authorities scrambled. Finally, on the runway, the deal was made. The ransom money, packed in a bank bag, and 4 parachutes were delivered. Cooper kept his word, releasing all 36 passengers unharmed, but he held the crew on board. With the money secured, he ordered the pilots to take off once again. Their destination, Mexico City. But his instructions were unusual. Fly below 10,000 feet, keep the landing gear down, the flaps partially extended, and the cabin pressure unsealed. As the night deepened, the Boeing 727 cut across the stormy skies of Washington state. Winds howled. Rain lashed against the windows. Somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Cooper made his move. He ordered the crew into the cockpit. Alone in the cabin, he strapped on a parachute, secured the bag of money, and lowered the rear stairway. The roar of wind filled the plane, and then he jumped into the darkness. By the time the aircraft landed safely, D.B. Cooper had vanished. The largest manhunt in U.S. history began. Helicopters swept across forests, soldiers marched through the rugged terrain, and divers searched rivers. Yet there was nothing. No body, no parachute, no trace of the man who leapt into the storm. For nearly a decade, investigators found nothing. Then, in 1980, a young boy camping along the Columbia River discovered bundles of decayed $20 bills buried in the sand. The serial numbers matched the ransom. This was the only confirmed evidence ever recovered, but the find only deepened the mystery. If the money was here, what had become of Cooper? Did he die in the jump, or had he escaped and hidden the rest? Over the years, hundreds of suspects were investigated. Ex-military paratroopers, criminals, even ordinary men who fit the description. Some claimed he died in the wilderness. Others swore he lived, starting a new life under a new name. Books, documentaries, and theories piled up, but no answer ever emerged. In 2016, after 45 years of investigation, the FBI finally closed the case. And so, the legend of D.B. Cooper endures. Calm, polite, and precise, he vanished into the storm, leaving behind only questions. Did he perish that night? Or did he walk away, smiling at the world's greatest unsolved mystery? More than 50 years later, we still don't know. But one thing is certain, D.B. Cooper is not just a man. He is a story. A story that begins in the skies over Portland and may never truly end. The truth may never be known, but more mysteries await. Subscribe now. As for Cooper, his calm demeanor hid a man capable of calculated risks and charm. That night he exuded confidence, demanding respect from the frightened passengers and crew. But it also raises a question. Why? Why did he choose this path? Was it just about the money or something more? His decision to leave the passengers behind while keeping the crew could point to a desire for more, a thirst for control. His instructions to fly low and slow suggest he wanted to increase his chances of survival. It wasn't a reckless stunt. Every step was thought out. Cooper wasn't just a criminal. He was a strategist. The man who walked away from the FBI, if indeed he did, was no ordinary fugitive. He possessed skills that made him almost untraceable. Knowledge of the wilderness, survival skills, and even understanding of aviation played a part. He left behind no digital footprint. No bank records linked him directly to the crime. Even the hijacked plane had been chosen carefully. The 727 was right. Its cargo door was at the rear, perfect for escape. The next piece of the puzzle is the mysterious note. Its existence is debated, but if real, it provides insight into Cooper's mind. He didn't wait until boarding to reveal his intentions. This shows premeditation, planning that makes the crime even more shocking. The note is also a glimpse into his logic. Cooper knew exactly what he wanted. He wasn't a man to be trifled with. Cooper wasn't your average hijacker. He didn't target planes randomly. He targeted a Boeing 727, a model known for reliability. He chose a specific seat 13, row 13, further adding to the enigma of this meticulous planner. There is also the smallest detail that speaks volumes. Cooper ordered 2 whiskeys instead of 1. This small action suggests a man who was in control, someone who wasn't just thinking about himself but observing his surroundings. It's a reminder that in the grand theater of human behavior, every gesture matters. Cooper chose not to draw attention to himself, boarding the plane like any other passenger. His demeanor was that of a businessman, a successful man about town. Such composure requires practice, meaning that this persona was more than just an act. In a crisis, people often revert to their base instincts. Cooper knew that showing humanity could disarm fear, making him less of a threat. His mention of a bomb, whether real or fake, was a masterstroke, giving him the upper hand from the start. But what drives a man to such extremes? We will never know the true depths of D.B. Cooper's character. He remains an enigma, a man who walked away from the FBI, leaving behind a legacy of mystery and intrigue. But his story reminds us that sometimes the greatest mysteries are not solved, but become a part of our collective consciousness. Cooper's audacity continues to fascinate. He robbed a plane, navigated a storm, and outwitted authorities for years. His escape remains a beacon of curiosity, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. The truth may never be known, but more mysteries await. Subscribe now.